You may not know it yet, but we are in great danger. Rapidly rising global temperatures are affecting the Arctic region more than anywhere else. Permafrost, which has been frozen for hundreds or thousands of years, is actually melting. There are many global influences at play. Permafrost in northern Alaska is warming faster, warning of future disasters. Overall, surface temperatures have increased by an average of zero point 0.6 degrees Fahrenheit per decade. We need to wake up and see the real problems and consequences which are at stake. The rate of increase is similar to that in the north, and the temperature changes more rapidly in northern Alaska than in other parts of the state. Those who are at risk are those who are too close to natural environments. Those who are close to glaciers are exposed to these unknown diseases. So everyone living in the area isn't safe. Some suggest that future disease projections may be zoonotic due to habitat expansion, changes in the human animal relationship, and the destruction of glaciers. Now, that is very scary. Not only that, but there were pathogens that existed back then, even going back millions of years, that may that may not have a cure yet. Isn't it amazing? Another effect of this Leophilisate is believed to be a protective barrier that prevents the migration of these contaminants and from reservoirs. It dissolves in the organic matter of the soil and can be mobilized, and other effects of water. We need to be more aware and need to prioritize the subject to start investigating these ancient pathogens that lived before our frozen environment and carefully examine the consequences and actions to prevent them. Research must be done before the end. If we don't want sea levels to rise, fall ill to diseases and we haven't been exposed to, and continue to live as we do now, we have to drastically reduce carbon emissions. If not, our species will finally meet its demise.
Global warming is a real current problem. The entire world will be susceptible to more droughts, stronger storms, and typhoons. The following information will focus more on the devastating natural disaster of typhoons and the growing impact due to global warming. A typhoon begins to form when winds blow into the areas of the ocean which are warm. These winds are able to collect moisture and rise while the colder air moves below. This mix of different winds results in pressure being formed in the middle and accelerates the speed of the wind. As typhoons are made in the ocean, it primarily concerns and destroys coastal communities. Hurricanes, typhoons, and cyclones pose significant global threats to life and property, including storm surges, flooding, extreme winds, and tornadoes. Since 1970, almost 800,000 people have died due to tropical cyclones across the world. Tropical cyclones produce widespread and devastating impacts. Historically, the deadliest typhoons have devastated coastal communities along Asia. Human-induced climate change is the driving factor for the increase in global temperatures. As a people, we have continued to warm the earth through primarily farming cattle and burning fossil fuels. Due to this increase of temperatures over time, it will provide favorable conditions for typhoons to become more hazardous, as the warmer the seawater, the higher the humidity, which will help form more of these tropical storm/typhoons. A bigger impact that these typhoons would have on the coastal communities is after the typhoon passes, it would then be followed by extreme heat waves that would be more dangerous due to the conditions that these communities would be left in. Humans continuing to warm the earth primarily through fossil fuel emissions would lead to more typhoons and storms over time, which would only get stronger as the temperature and waters get warmer. Studies showed growing evidence that climate change is probably fueling more powerful hurricanes and typhoons, a trend that is expected to continue as global temperature rise, amounting to a roughly 5% increase in maximum wind speeds if the globe warms by 2 degrees Celsius. Other places that typhoons primarily devastate are in Asia. Climate change is anticipated to play a major role in the systematic change in typhoons. These findings suggest that the risk of typhoon-related hazard exposure in China, South Korea, and Japan is likely to be higher in the future, explains Dr. Fang from the National Center of Atmospheric Science. As global temperatures continue to rise, the destruction caused by typhoons will be exacerbated, and there will be an increased need for risk adaptation and resilience to these types of extreme weather events, especially in regions that are disproportionately affected by these events, such as coastal communities. Unfortunately, we have no way to stop such natural disaster from occurring. However, we can minimize the damage it has on coastal communities. Persons living in areas close to the ocean are especially at risk, and it is important to keep informed and listen to forecasts which may let you know if your coastal community will be heavily impacted. You can secure your homes by moving outside items inside, such as grills, bicycles, etc., to minimize damage from outside the house and prevent heavier items from being moved around at high speeds. It is advised that you set freezers to the coldest temperature to minimize spoilage of food in case power is cut off. And it is important to find a secure spot of the household like a door frame and wait for the eye of the typhoon to pass. It is important to spread this information to your friends and family to ensure your safety in the case of these natural disasters occurring. It is never too late to slow down the process of global warming, but it starts with what we are doing at home to minimize our carbon footprint, helping prevent these natural disasters. Thank you.